Live and learn. Yeah. PRQR has held well. Like, okay, yesterday PRQR went up and it hasn't gone much further. Like it hit almost $4 and then it dipped into 3, and then all day it got it back up to 4 and after hours, and now it's back to 350. But that's meaningful. Like, I'm trying to teach you guys fucking something. I'm not just saying it held well. That is meaningful. Held well is something. So this holding well, you could, up to this point, you could say that it, got a higher low, but it could easily move around and hold well more today. But it just means that there's not a lot of downside, and that if there is downside, have a stop. Cut when the stop hits. But if there's not downside, if there's upside potential, if there's reward probability, then you've got yourself a nice little setup, right? I have not even looked at the stock to see if there's upside potential. I'm teaching you something. All right? I don't give a fuck about PRQR. I'm trying to teach you. If the stock has held well yesterday, a particular level, in this case it was 3, and then it holds well throughout that whole day, and then perhaps closes strong, which it did, and then moves up in after hours and holds well, it's completely natural for it to sag back in pre-market today, the day later, so long as it's holding levels. And what it's doing is it's holding its power hour lows, if you will. This was like power hour yesterday for 2 hours, trading to the close here. So do you understand? Do you understand, people? This is a good sign. Now, if you look at the daily chart for it, you can see this is a hell of a candle and catalyst candle, PRQR. And volume-wise, down here we got the volume spike. We haven't seen a volume spike like that since 2022, December, Christmas of 2022. So like a year and a half ago. Before that, in fact, this is a level it hasn't even been to since February of 2022. From here, if this thing has reward potential, it has the potential to retrace all the way up to probably around 6. This pivot right here, 6. It's going to try, with all this energy and the momentum, it's got to push to the most important pivot, looking left, and that pivot was in February of 2022. It doesn't matter. It's not about PRQR. I'm teaching you something. So you got $6 upside target with multiple partials you can take along the way, and you've got, like, it's at 350 right now, and a $3 stop, maybe 290 if you want to just be safe, or 280. So that's 70 cents of risk at 350 to $6. 6 minus 350 is $2.50. $2.50 divided by 70 cents of risk. That's a 3.6 to 1 reward to risk ratio on a stock that seems to be holding well. So that's a trade. That's a risk opportunity. So if you think it's going to go any lower from here at 348 is where it is right now. If you think it's going to go any lower, wait on it. Don't buy it right now in pre-market. Let it fail out a little bit on the market open and pick it up. Set your stop conservatively to 280. You can see that, how the levels have been holding. The power hour low, 280 is, a very reasonable stop. The power hour, because it also uses the psychological key level of 3, but the power hour lows were like 335. So you make it like, 330. It just depends on, how aggressive you want to be. If you did that, then obviously 330 stop and it worked, and it's at 350 right now. That's a 20 cents of risk for $2.50 of upside. So that's a 12 to 1 trade. You don't need to try for a 12 to 1 trade though. Give yourself some buffer. So anyway, I'll probably take that though. So do you understand? Do you understand, guys? That's how it works. You find a trade opportunity. What is it? Is it a day trade? People who are listening. No. Oh no, you were not. Nobody answered. Oh, it's not a day trade. It's a swing trade. You get in, you put a nice wide stop at 280. You expect it to go back up to $6 at best. And guess what? It might not. Boo fucking who. But for, what did I say? 3.6 to 1? Do you know how often that trade, do you know what the probability of that trade needs to be for it to break even in the long run? Well, I'll tell you. 27% of the time. In other words, 75% of the time this trade doesn't work out, it's still profitable to go for it. But those are good signs. Other things you want to look for are the bid and the ask tight. That'd be nice. You want the bid and the ask tight. That means the liquidity is there. That means the interest is there. That means the demand is there. That means this demand is outweighing the supply. That means they're smashing up against each other. Things are tight. Liquidity is good. I can tell you right now, in pre-market, the bid and the ask is 349 by 351. It's 2 cents wide. Not bad for pre-market on day 2 after it was a hot stock yesterday. In other words, old news. You could have gotten into this yesterday at the close of the market at $4, but you can get into it today for $3.50. Stop at 280. Now, if there was something else going on right now, we'd be running after that. We'd be watching that. But, hopefully you just learned to fish. I'm not here every day, am I? And one day I'll be dead, and you better teach others. You better teach others. I was just checking a message I just got. So that's how you figure it out. But guess, if you're looking at this chart and it goes to 6, right? It goes to 6. That's the realistic target. And is it at 25% chance? Probably it's better than that. Maybe it's about 30 or 35, maybe even 45% chance based on the way it's been zooming. In fact, it could hit that today. But I could be in it for weeks. For instance, I'm in, let's find something to show you here. I'm not in much anymore. PCT. Boy, I've been in this for a long while. Look, I've been in PCT. It did something like that, right? And I'm like, oh, it's probably going to go back up to the pivot. This point here, this is what I'm looking for. This is my ultimate target, $12 on PCT. This whole trade was to go to $12. So I got in. The next day it followed through. The next day it followed through. Looking good. I took lots of partials along the way. It's been holding. It's been holding Gamma. It's been holding a moving average. It's all the way back up. It's starting to make more progress. I've been getting more and more partials out. I'm up 48% on the trade. How long have I been in it? 35 days. So, is what were we looking at? Is PRQR going to go up to 6 today? I don't know. I mean, sometimes they do, man. Sometimes they do. On that one day, they just go freaking crazy. But sometimes they don't. Doesn't matter. It's a trade. It's a trade, man. You put it on. All right, roger that. Okay. So I'll probably grab PRQR for check the volume. I mean, the volume yesterday, I mean, it seems pretty good. I'm going to go for A setup, although I would call this more of like a B plus setup, guys. So maybe that's what I should do, follow my own advice, and I'll locate between 0.5% and 1% R. So I can dial that in over here, PRQR. And that would be, let's see. So that's 0.75 R. Okay. And the risk unit from 350 is 70 cents. So that says I should get 787 shares. This is the kind of thinking ahead you got to do, guys. That's from 350. If this were to dip down to 3, I still would want my stop to be 280. Maybe I would make it 270 just for a little extra padding if it went to 3. And then I'd have a 30 cents risk instead of 70 cents. And I'd know mentally that that's roughly a little bit more than twice as many shares now that I could get, because my risk unit is more than half the size of 70 cents, which is 35 cents. It'd be 30 cents. So on the fly, you just, you got to be able to do some of this math like that. You got to be able to figure these things out. And you do need to use the A, B, and C sizing techniques. And you do need to use progressive exposure, which is, I taught in Masterclass. By the way, we got Masterclass tonight. Should be good to go, although I'm telling you, I'm not really feeling the air conditioning. If the dude didn't do exactly a great job on the AC. But I'll tell you what, I'll just have a glass of ice cold water here tonight. Also, I'm drinking hot coffee, so. All right, if you notice anything, if you see something, just like the New York subways, if you see something, say something. All right, people? If you see something, say something. You need to find opportunities here. That's what we are. I mean, there's 15 to 20,000 tickers every day available to us. There's probably more than that when you count the OTC.